In the previous video we talked about security with your SQL database. One of the things that we mentioned in passing was SQL Injection, although we didn't go into too much detail about it. SQL Injection is a way to insert SQL commands into an unprotected website such that you can basically control the entire website's database. So to begin with, we're just going to show all of the tables that we have available to us in our database. So as you can see, we have customer department, salary range, staff training, staff table, and training. So I've gone ahead and created this blank template, which is basically just a mock-up of what a web page would look like. So as you can see, we have a staff number, an input box, and a submit button. And below here, we basically display all of the data related to the staff number that we insert. The code for this is very simple. As you can see, all we do is we check whether a SQL code has been recorded in the checkbox. If it has, we assign that to the user value variable. And then we just have the text box for the input. Down here we create a connection to our database. We pass a statement across. We execute the statement. And then we return the results. And then this bottom part is just about displaying the results on the page. So as you can see, if we type in the number 6369 and submit this, we're going to get all of the details from our database relating to this employee. The problem with this is that we're just passing this user value straight across. So in this case, 6369 is our user value, and we're just passing that across directly into our prepare command. With this, I'm using a library called PDO to actually connect to our database. The specifics of how you do it with different libraries will vary, but just for example, this is how we're doing it with PDO. Now the danger here is that because we're just passing this value across directly, we're essentially handing complete control over to our users of our database. If we wanted to actually break this at the moment, it's very simple. We could continue to type into here. So we're just going to look for either 6369 or staff surname like %, which is just a variable for anything. Because we're passing this data across, when we submit this command, we're going to get all of the data for every member of staff. Because the second part of the query, where we've added the or staff surname like anything, will return the data for anyone. And this is a real problem. This means that anyone using your website, if you coded it like this, would be able to do anything with your database. Now we looked earlier about which tables we actually have in our database. Now let's try and drop the customer table from our actual web page. Because we've not actually restricted this in any way, we can do whatever we like with it. So I'm just going to end that first statement and then just drop the table customer. So there's nothing to actually see on the page itself, but if we go back to SQL Workbench and run the show tables command again, you can see that the customer table has disappeared. So now you can see, hopefully, how big of a problem this is. I could, for example, continue. I could drop the staff training table. And when I run this command again now, staff training table is gone. I could of course drop any other tables, any other views. I could basically do whatever I wanted to do with this right now. I've essentially got complete control over this database just through this web page, when all I should be able to do is actually select this person's details. So when you're establishing your connections to your MySQL database through PHP or Ruby or whatever else, make sure you're using the correct way to actually connect to it. This series isn't about PHP, and whether you use PHP or Ruby or whatever else is irrelevant. This is just an example of how not to do it. I would encourage you to go and look up the user guides as to how to actually do this properly if you're intending to do it. Because as you've seen, from this single text box and submit button, we basically have complete control over our entire database, and we can do anything that we want to with it, which, as I say, is not a very good position from a security standpoint.